bright and early at 7 o'clock. It's now 7:40. But we got to sleep in a little bit till about 5:30 this morning, which was nice. And then had breakfast. Now we're on the trail. Today is one of our shorter days. We're only going to walk until lunchtime, and then we're going to visit a coffee plantation and then go to some hot springs tonight. So, yeah, much better.
Because this day was a shorter hiking day, it allowed for more time to learn about the history of the Incas. Our guide, Alex, did a fantastic job at demonstrating the forgotten or abandoned building techniques of the Incas, such as how they made grass ropes for bridges.
Hey, bro.
So the river, you can see there behind me, that we've been hiking by, actually feeds into the Amazon River. So that's kind of neat. And today we're at 8,000 feet, which is actually lower than Cusco, which is kind of nice. But today's hike is mostly up and down. Up one hill, down the other. Up one hill, down the other. And we're going to do that for about another hour and a half to 2 hours. So, and then we're going to go visit a coffee plantation. So that should be exciting. Actually, that's probably the part I'm looking forward to most about this trip, after seeing Machu Picchu, of course. So right over there is where the trail used to come across. The path over there got washed out with a landslide, and now we're going to follow this path. And it's a pretty narrow path right on the edge of the gorge. So I'm going to put this down and concentrate on not falling off. So we're coming into a granadilla plantation, which is similar, but not the same as passion fruit. So we're going to try some of that and see what it tastes like.
Like a boiling. Okay. You crook, and then look at it. The white part. See how good it feels you are.
Ow! I did that way too hard.
So we're back on the trail. We left the plantation. We got to try some grenadine, which was really good. And we got to take a ride in a cable car across the river, which was also a whole lot of fun. Kind of nerve-wracking because there weren't any safety rails. fun nonetheless. So now we're back walking. We've got about, he said, 3 hours to lunch. At some point in here, we're gonna go visit that coffee plantation, but yeah, for now, more of the same. Face painted. So did I. We're now Incan warriors. What was that?
Oh, chilling my inner warrior.
Okay. Anyway, final push to something else. Coffee plantation.
After about 6 hours of hiking and a short van ride, we made it to the coffee plantation. There we learned about the Peruvian coffee culture and then used traditional methods to roast and brew our own coffee. We then had another short ride to our camp and lunch. Alright, so we are wrapping up day 3 of our hike. Today was the easier day. We only did 6 or 7 miles, got to our camp, had lunch, and then went to the hot springs. Sat in some lukewarm water with our group for about an hour and a half, and then headed back to camp. Tomorrow will be our last day of hiking, and then the day after tomorrow, on Tuesday, we'll actually make it up to Machu Picchu. So the end is in sight. We're all surviving. Alex had some blisters tonight, but she got those popped, and hopefully she'll be able to continue the hike tomorrow. We're in the dome huts tonight. There's our door. There's Alex telling me to hush up. Coming around. Got our clothesline hung up here, drying out our clothes from the last few days. The rest of our hut there comes around. 2 twin beds. So yeah, that's been our day. We're going to, it's almost 10 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and call it a night and catch you tomorrow on the hike.
Hey, day 4. 1, 2, 3. Salkantay hiking.
So today starts our last day of hiking. We've got about 16 miles to go today. And we're starting off our hike on part of the original Inca Trail. It's gonna be a long day. But we get to Aguas Caliente tonight and go to Machu Picchu tomorrow. So because it rained last night, it's extremely humid today. I'd say the humidity is close to 90%. You can see all the clouds in the valley there. Like I said, it's our last day of hiking, so the end is in sight. As you can see, I've got my handy dandy buff on. This thing has come in extremely handy this trip. Anything from sun protection to mosquito repellent. So we're hiking to the top of this mountain where we should be able to have a view of Machu Picchu. If that stuff there because it's in the way. So hopefully that's all gonna burn off before we get up there. Otherwise, there won't be much to see. There it is. We made it to the viewpoint. Now we're gonna go look for Machu Picchu.
Unfortunately, with all the fog and the clouds, we were unable to get a clear view of the Incan citadel. Every few minutes, the view would clear just enough to give a glimpse before disappearing once again into the mist. We decided to try our luck further down the trail at a viewpoint with a lower elevation. This time we had better luck and were even able to snap a few pictures. Then we visited the ruins of an Incan outpost that would have monitored and screened visitors to Machu Picchu.
There's Alex coming down the trail. It is extremely slippery on the trail today because it, again, rained all night. So you can kind of see it's a little technical getting down. So we're going to try to do it without killing ourselves. That is the name of the game on this hike, not to kill ourselves. Got my fancy mosquito netting on again. So we just finished lunch. We're on our way to Hydroelectrica, and then from there it's about a 3-hour walk to Aguas Caliente. We hiked up the mountain, got to the top, went and saw some views of Machu Picchu in the distance, which we had some difficulty because it would fog up or cloud up every 2 or 3 minutes, so you get a brief window of time that you could actually see Machu Picchu. And then we walked down the mountain in the rain, down a muddy path for like an hour. So that was a good time. Alex has decided that she's going to take the train from Hydroelectrica to Aguas Caliente because of the blisters on her feet from yesterday worsened today. So she's going to get to take a train ride and tell you guys how great the train ride was because she's going to take all the pictures.
Yes.
She's the one to take the train ride from the very beginning, so this is just her excuse to go take the train ride. But for now, just walking along this path for a while until we get to Hydroelectrica. And then we'll say goodbye to Alex, maybe at the train station, maybe on a street corner. Who knows? But it'll be an adventure. Station. She's going to be riding the train to Aguas Caliente. Future reference, their train cost $39 USD or 147 soles. They do accept either one. It's $2.50. Alex's train should have already departed the station, headed towards Aguas Caliente. Should see her pass us along these tracks right here behind me or beside me. Here. I'd say in the next 10 or 15 minutes. This part of the walk is fairly easy because we're right the train tracks. Alex's train just went past. And she should be arriving in Aguas Caliente here in about the next hour or so. So she's definitely going to beat us there. Hopefully she'll have time to take a shower, relax. Still have about 2 hours of walking to go before we'll be there. So that's what we're going to do.
Good job, my friend. No. Fine. You're good. Almost right.
So we did it. We completed the Salkantay trek. Almost. We still have to go to Machu Picchu tomorrow, but
That's a whole different thing.
yeah, that's a whole different video. But today's day 4 of the hiking. We just finished it up. We're in our hotel room waiting for our bags to arrive and then heading to dinner. Today, day 4, was rough. Yeah, it was probably the hardest day. I think the weather had a lot to do with that. It was hot, humid, overcast, no breeze when we were hiking in the jungle, so that made it really tough going uphill. Then we were going downhill in the rain on a mud path. So all in all, it was just a long day. I think we did 16 miles today. One of our longest days. It was harder than what I imagined and thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit easier than what it was, just based on other videos I'd seen and reviews that I'd seen.
Only had tears twice, and they were all in today.
We did it. We can now say that we did it.
I don't know. It was a good experience.
We just got to go to Machu Picchu tomorrow and finish it out strong. Yay! That's it. Wrapping up for the day. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Today was our last day of early mornings, our last day of the hike, and the day we went to Machu Picchu. We left our hotel about 6 a.m. to be on the first buses to Machu Picchu, and to be there as soon as it opened at 7. We were some of the first visitors through the gate, and this meant we were able to have an unobstructed view before the site began to fill with other visitors, which happened very quickly. Our guide then led us through the ancient ruins, explaining the history and the importance of this long-forgotten place. After a couple of hours, though, it was time for Alex and I to head off on our own and hike Huayna Picchu. Alex is heading off to climb Huayna Picchu. She's so excited. That mountain. Which mountain is it, Alex?
It's that one there.
That big one there. Yeah.
And I thought it was a winery or a wine tour.
Yeah, she's disappointed. She thought it was a wine tour. No, it's not. It's another mountain. It'll give us a different view of Machu Picchu. Right, so they say that this hike takes about maybe an hour up and 50 minutes down. So we'll see how accurate that is. There's a lot of stairs and no rail. All right, so we bailed out of Huayna Picchu. We got about halfway up and just getting too hot and sweaty, and we didn't want to be hot and sweaty for a 4-hour ride back to Cusco. So
not complete that mountain climb. We did, however, get.
It says it's a moderate, and you are definitely climbing up it at some points. And it's very narrow, and you go up and down one way. So there's so many people, and you're constantly having to like dodge people to get up and down, which is not fun when you're trying to get up it.
Yeah, we decided to go ahead and skip it and head back in. Maybe we'll catch up with the rest of our group here, Machu Picchu, and head back to Aguas Caliente.
All too quickly, our time as a group had come to an end. Just 6 days ago, we were 12 strangers sitting in a room, wondering what we had signed up for. But over the next 5 days, we became a close-knit group of friends. And though we may never see them again, these once strangers really did make this the adventure of a lifetime.